Hi, Miss Kiki.
Hi, Mish. I don't know what happened to Cupcake.
I'm not sure either.
Uh,
I was in the middle of a call, so I was like, okay, let me beep and mute and I have to. It was an older gentleman who didn't quite understand what I was saying, so I was like, let me go real slow, which is understandable.
there he is.
Cupcake!
Oh, you're
Sorry, camera's... Yeah, hang on. Camera's being stupid.
I am. Oh, there you are.
There.
Now you're not all drawn out.
It keeps resetting to default, and it like has the exposure as far up as it'll go, and I'm just like, why are you doing that?
That's weird.
Right, hang on, I can go. Maybe. So we got too low. There we go. Apply. Okay. For some reason, frickin' Discord's like, obviously we need to go as bright as humanly possible, and I'm going, what the hell are you doing that? Pop out here. Screen. But yes. Did you shave the back of your head? You're such a dork! That's hilarious, woman.
I told you I cut my hair, didn't I?
Well, I didn't. You said half. I'm thinking like you did like the side fade or whatever. Not you cut the back of your head, you goof. It's like a reverse mullet.
I'm ready for the warm weather.
Right, I forgot it's like hotter than the devil's butt crack there. It's in the 40s here.
Oh, it's only in the 70s here, but it's going to get hotter because fire season's going to start soon.
It's going to be in the mid-50s this weekend. Which is exciting for us because it means the snow is finally going to melt. Ugh. And it's finally warm enough that I don't want a blanket, but I also don't have enough, like, thick clothing to stay warm because the heat won't stay on. Because it's in, like, the 40s, so the house is pretty... Like, it's not cold in here, but it's... The heat's not running, so it's kind of...
Ooh.
I gotta say, finally finding that exposure setting, like, really changed the way this camera works. I was... Like, I can finally turn my lights on, for God's sake, without it just completely blowing me out. Ugh. Is he? Oh, he is on top. He's like, you son of a bitch, you turned the lights on. I'm going behind the blankets.
Aw, poor puppy.
I do like your hair, Miss Kiki.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
All right. And there we go. The good thing about some of the stuff that we have to do check-offs is it's in alphabetical order, which is very nice. Where's my... I just realized, I'm like, where's my Teams on here? Oh, it's restarting itself. I'm like, where's my Teams? Oh, it's restarting itself.
Salutations and welcome to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Miss. You is G parla franchise FCG PUESTC quese difficile a comprender. Nope, that did not work. Enjoy the show.
So I see news feed that Alamo Drafthouse has filed for bankruptcy.
Who's that?
They were the what do you want to call it? Like the prototype for, like they were like the first big chain to do like beer and alcohol at movies.
Oh. Well, it's hard to do anything when no one can go to the movies.
Right.
Ours is opening up because we've moved into red tier,
Right.
so we can do indoor seating again.
We can't seem to well, I think it's partly Wisconsin. We can't seem to get to the point that we can go back to that.
Well, I think
'Cause
most
our-
of California is still in the purple.
I mean, pretty soon I think they're just going to drop all pretenses of having any precautions at all and just go back to normal and let people just kill themselves off. Because everybody's, complaining that they're tired of having their lives, ruined by not being able to do anything outside. So they'll just
Die.
let people freaking contract it and go, whatever.
Yeah, it's a little sad. I mean, I understand that it's a little stir crazy. I mean, people were stir crazy. I mean, last freaking April, but like, really? I mean, it kind of hit my my mother-in-law hard because it's like it was like pandemic, quarantine, and then her two sons' birthdays at the beginning of April.
Right.
So we usually, like, for Easter / their birthdays, we get together, and we couldn't do that, obviously, because they're in the main age group of being most susceptible, like 65 plus. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna stay away. But the good thing was I got a cupcake and a little candle for hubby, and I took a little video saying happy birthday and him blowing it out so I could send to his brother and his mom. So that was
right.
thing.
I know everybody at work is just like, let's just drop it all like Texas and Tennessee. I'm like, I'm done.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna get involved anymore.
Texas is so dumb.
Yeah, it's free real estate.
I mean, point, but
I don't want to move to Texas.
well, become a landlord, buy some property, rent it out. Although I don't know how much you will want to be a landlord, so. Anyways, so I have a new book that's coming out that I pre-ordered that's coming out next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday, which is very nice. By one of my favorite authors, Anne Bishop. And I know I usually give this warning with her books. They can be very violent at times, I guess is a word for it. But it's usually against people who, like, they're not just going around killing people for no reason. It's usually people are deserving of what they get, I guess.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Anyways.
I have not read a book not associated with school in a while, so.
Yeah.
The
I
hell's a
should-
book?
And I did just finish, what's it face? A book from another one of my. I'm not even sure how I found it. I think it might have been one of those I'm scrolling through Amazon or Kindle, and the whole like, oh, people also got this, and I like got the first one, liked it, and so I just finished the main overall arc of the book, and it's one that I actually reread very often. What? Yeah. Bring this back up. Let me bring out my Kindle. It's the Empire series. So there's there's the main author, and then there's another author that assists in. So it is a series of. Let me find it. I think it's 15 books. Yes, 15 books. So I mean, it spans like the first set of series, kind of like first maybe 6 is like the same set of it's like maybe 50 years, 50 to 100 years, based on starts with one empress, then her ascending to the throne, then the next, so it's a nice little chunk of time, but then it hops forward 300 years and then kind of picks up the narrative there. So
Well, all right.
it's yeah. So the same author has 2 very similar novel or book series. So they're both space futuristic sci-fi type thing, where there's space travel, multiple humanity living on many planets, some form of virtual reality type of thing. But the virtual reality is different in between the two. So one is more of one has more capabilities in terms of banking and sending messages and things like that. And one is a little bit less capable, but still capable enough to write up reports and stuff like that. So you can still send messages, but I feel like one is a little bit more versatile than the other one. So, but it's still, at least for me, good.
Oop.
Try this.
I will be right back because I suddenly don't know where my phone is.
Oh boy.
Oopsie. Oopsie daisy.
That's like I went to the grocery store this morning and managed to grab all the items except for the bottle of iced coffee that I left sitting on the self checkout. I went back after I got home and I'm really embarrassed. And I'm so is there any chance? She's like, go check with the self checkout lady. So I go up to her and I'm like, is there any? She's like, oh yeah. She's like, it's over here. She's like, is it creamer? I'm like, no, it's a bottle of iced coffee. She's like, oh yeah, here you go. She's like, I was wondering how somebody would bag it and forget it. I'm like, I'm an idiot. Thank you.
That's okay. Anyways. Please remain like this, like you were this morning, where there's 5 to 10 minutes in between calls, please?
No, there'll be one after another for the next 4 hours.
Fuck you! I'm not working until 6 o'clock.
Okay, sorry, 3 hours.
So, and then I'm also waiting. I pre-ordered, which is nice. I think I pre-ordered this one. So Mercedes Lackey has her Valdemar series, and she is now going back to because she has she kind of did this. She went back to the founding of Valdemar, in like one of her anthologies, like short story collections. But she's actually now starting to novelize the beginning of Valdemar, because it's like briefly discussed in other books, and there's like one short story about it where there's the big, kind of like the whole big bad empire, but there is an empire made out of the mercenaries from the last Great War that's referenced at the beginning of time, I guess, or the beginning of her official timeline. There was war, and these mercenaries gated or magically transported themselves out to the east and then founded the Eastern Empire. So there was a baron in this empire, Baron Valdemar, who was like, yeah, these folks aren't very nice. They don't treat people good, etc. I don't like the way they treat people. So he was like, covertly said, hey, we're going to go west. Anybody want to come with? And then they traveled until finally they landed where, I guess, Haven is their capital, and then started building Valdemar. So that's kind of the brief version of how it started. And,
Right.
a little short story kind of detailing like a little more detail into that, and it kind of shortly explaining like, okay, they got here and they started building the city, and there were some scouts who were going out into the surrounding area to kind of map it out, and they come back. This one group comes back, and all of us, thank you for calling the...
And she's gone.
Idaho lawmaker opposes bill because it, quote, makes it easier for mothers to come out of the home.
Quality human being.
I don't think anybody does a better job than mothers in the home, and any bill that makes it easier or more convenient for mothers to come out of the home and let others raise their children, I don't think that's a good direction for us to be going in.
So what you're saying is you want me to beat you with a sock of soap?
Soap?
Yeah. Soap in a sock? What's up?
Not quarters?
Soap leaves less marks. Raised in a military family, you really wanna wail on somebody and really make them rethink their life decisions? Bar of soap in a sock. Damn ice. I can drink this more ice than it is frickin'. Why did they get rid of that?
Get rid of what?
Oh, I used to be able to, like, when my orders weren't shipping, I used to be able to see what items were and were not in stock.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't do that anymore. Because I had this huge order from when I got my bonus check. And I was like, still hasn't shipped. What means one of the things is out of stock because it hasn't moved. And I ordered it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And then what they used to do is they used to just, with a big order like this, they would send me whatever I had, whatever was available that they had. And then, like, later on, when the rest of the stuff came in, they would ship me the rest. Okay, so that's in stock. So it's not that. Sorry. Okay, Konosuba 2's out of stock. Black Clover's out of stock. Black Clover's out of stock. Black Clover's out of stock. They weren't out of stock when I ordered it. That's why I'm like, that's in stock. In stock. That one's out. That one's in. That one's in. That one's in. So it's Black Clover that hung me up. Okay. And Konosuba. So whatever. Okay. I'm just curious.
Awesome.
Awesome possum.
So like 6 months from now, when they all manage to be in stock at the same time, they'll ship it to me. I'll be like, what was this order? What the hell was going on here?
And oh, okay, all this stuff right here. Okay. But yeah, that's basically her next book coming out. And it's actually kind of funny because there's another trilogy she writes with another author that they kind of reference to her Valdemar books, where they mention blue-eyed white horses, which are the companions in her Valdemar universe. And they show they're technically like guiding spirits, but they show up as horses because it's kind of the era of like swords and horses and stuff are the main mode of transportation. So they're kind of ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And because it's kind of explained that because there are so many of them, while they do have special powers, like they're able to disguise how they look, they don't have like too many of them. And also, like, for example, they have like really good endurance, so they can run flat out, they can gallop flat out for like 2 days. But then once they're done doing that, they kind of crash and need to recoup. So like there's a give and take of, yeah, I can do this, but then I have to sleep for 3 days and eat a bunch of stuff and and all that jazz. Whereas their counterparts, the sun cats, because there are less of them. Now the sun cats are mastiff-sized cats that look like they look like Siamese cats. Blow them up to a mastiff size, and instead of the markings being black, they're red, and so they can like literally set a person on fire. So
Okay.
it's like, don't piss them off. But I'm like, hey, who wouldn't want to be a mind-talking cat who can set people on fire? I mean, anyways. That's what I'm waiting for, is those two, and then her Valdemar novel's coming out in June. So, which feels like it's far away, but really isn't, I guess.
Dude, it always feels far away, then all of a sudden it's here, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Wait a minute, what?
Oh, it's like me whining about people spoiling stuff that I'm just now getting to watching. They're like, well, the show's 4 or 5 years old. I'm like, yeah, but I'm just getting to it now.
That's one thing. Like, it's one thing for something that's as widespread as Game of Thrones, for example. At this point, it's very hard to not find references unless you're like,
Well, and
thank you for calling the.
And to be clear, I'm not talking about like somebody like coming into a conversation where somebody's talking about it. I mean, like, I bring up that I'm watching it, like, oh, did you know that blah blah blah? I'm like, why would you do that to me? And then when I'm like, wait, I'm watching it for the first time. Please don't spoil it. They're like, well, it's not like it's a spoiler if you've seen blah blah blah. I'm like, I haven't seen that either. Why did you tell me that? They're like, oh,
Ass.
yeah, I get that the shows are from like 2017, 2018, but like, I don't get a lot of chance to sit down and watch stuff. Jesus, it took me, 3 months to watch the rest of, actually basically watch Clear Card Saga, which, I'm so mad that ended on a goddamn, like, cliffhanger.
Maybe another season will happen after COVID.
That's my hope. Because that was a really weird ending to the season. I'm like, what? That's it? I don't know. It just frustrates me when they end animes like that. Like, ooh, it's like, what? It wasn't even like go read the manga. It was just like, like, like the original card captors ends in like her becoming the master of the cloud. It was like, oh great, that's awesome. This was like, well, we all have each other. See you next time. Click. Like, but what? What was that? That was a non-conclusion. It only raises more questions, not less. Shut up, stupid watch. But yeah, I finally finished that, and it was good, and I enjoyed it, and it's pretty much peak Clamp, writing, in which they explain nothing, and then like in the last 20 minutes of the last episode, they basically kind of unravel a whole bunch of like what's been going on, but then don't really answer any of the questions that are being asked, just kind of make it more confusing, and then go, oh well, that's it, folks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like the end of Chobits, where like a thing happens, but that's it. That's the end of the show. There's no more explanation of what's going to come after. Oh yeah, we gave all the robot computers consciousness. Have fun with that. The end. There's going to be a lot of killer sex toys in the next like 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like having like I was talking to a coworker because he was asking about it, and I was like, not to give away the end of the story, but like it was like, oh yeah, it turns out consciousness is a thing that you can give technology. The sentient robots are conscious now. And it's heavily implied there's a lot of lonely dudes using their robot computers for companionship.
Oh, I haven't seen Chobits in forever.
It's a super cute show until you start like it's the same thing we were talking about. I was talking about Cardcaptor Sakura, which it's implied that like the world of magic is really grimdark, but the fact is that the 10-year-old girl in the first series and the I think it's like 14 or 13 or 14-year-old girl in the second series where she's older, like is being protected from the grimdark by a whole bunch of really powerful people, creatures. Like her familiar guardians are protecting her, her friends are protecting her, her brothers protecting her.
Yeah.
Like they're watching out for her, and like their families, like Lee's like family is looking out for her. Errol and his companions are looking out for her. Like her familiars are trying to help her, because it's implied that like there's a lot of really dark, like Madoka Magica style shit going on in the background that they just kind of like, it's there, but there's a whole lot of people basically putting shields up around her.
Oh boy.
I've been watching an anime called Penguin Drum.
Yeah, I need to watch that. It looks good.
It is good. I haven't finished it yet because school sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, singing to the choir.
But it goes from cute to, well, that's dark really quick.
Right. Wasn't it by the guy who did Utena?
Yes.
Well, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just fucking sucks sometimes.
And then she turned into a bitching Camaro.
That only happens in the movie.
It's still fucked up! When your noble princess turns into when your beautiful princess turns into your noble steed and you ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Ride her hard, dude, bro. Ride her hard. Shake head.
The best part, Mish, is it's about two women.
Still. Ugh.
And then you have... Oh, I always forget the Bear Panic anime, which is like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
Something Arashi Kuma.
something like that.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it
Kuma's
translates
bear,
into something Bear Panic. It's like,
Yeah.
like pretty much anyone that was involved with Utena, like anything that they make after the fact, like prepare to be fucky, because here it comes.
Yeah. I know a friend of mine and I were talking about anime earlier, and she was like, have you watched A Silent Voice? I'm like,
Silent Voice is a good anime.
Yes. So I was like, yeah, all those people were totally douche bros. Yeah. For bullying that poor girl.
Ah, yes. The scene where the deaf girl begs for forgiveness. Rips my heart out every time.
So
I told her,
so good.
I was like, it's not as bad as I will eat your pancreas.
Dude,
Oh, fuck that movie! Fuck that movie on ice!
so recently I had Vixen watch that movie.
What the hell's wrong with you?
It's good! It just has a...
I mean,
twist,
I only
man.
stabbed her once.
Yeah, she was mad.
I bet she was mad. That fucking ending comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, it's one way to the better end, and then bam! And I was like, the three of us were like, seriously? What the fuck?
Well, the
Bitch,
best part is like when you rewatch. Yeah, the best part is when you watch it, like they repeatedly bring up this like serial fucking stabber
In the background, yeah.
in the background. He's like on the news, in the papers. Like you'll see, like they'll walk by some dude with a paper open, and you'll see the headline. But like they play up that whatever the disease is, like the disease she's suffering from, is what's gonna take her life. Then at the end, it's like, nope, twist ending. Like I said, like casual brutality, just.
Well, yeah, in terms of like casual like violence or brutality, like I kind of paused watching it, but it's called Japan Sinks, and I think it's on Netflix, and there's this one. So basically, there's a bunch of earthquakes that happen, and Japan starts sinking into the ocean. So this family starts, going towards higher ground, trying to get out. And they find some, like, I guess the one main character, she's a vegetarian, so they find like some sort of veggie, and they start like chopping through the wood, like the brush, like past the fence, and then like you see her walking down the. Jeez, jeez, Cupcake.
What the hell? Hang on.
So they're walking down. She's walking down the fence, and then she notices a sign that says "warning," something like "warning landmines," and you watch her face go, "Oh shit!" And then her dad, his shovel hits again. It's a root vegetable, I think, and so he's digging, and he hits a landmine, and then basically he gets taken out by the landmine. So you don't actually see the explosion, but his hand flies through the air and lands right next to his wife. Just pew! And you're like, whoa. Yeah. That's yeah. That's a little like, okay. Like, they're in a natural disaster. They're trying to get to safety. They have to worry about everything. And I just had to watch my husband get blown up. And his his hand is right here. So, well, all right. So, yay for break time. Oop.
Yay, break time.
Huzzah!
Okay, so I make it a little bit quieter because I'm going up by hubby and I hear him in the call when I open the door, so. I do have headphones in, so.
Alright.
Oh, good times. So I started watching Konosuba, which I'm only a couple episodes in, but it seems fun. I
What is Konosuba?
enjoy. So what? Basically, it's like Our Wonderful Life in a New World, but it's the one. It's like a joke on isekais.
Okay.
The main character is like it's got Megumin, who's the mage that can only use one giant spell a day, and then the masochistic knight, and Aqua, the goddess, who he basically he's like, you can take anything you want with you. The New World is like, fine, I'm taking you, asshole. She's like, wait, what? No. And he learns I just got the episode. He learns the steal ability, but he has such absurdly high luck that every time he steals, he takes somebody's panties.
Of course.
That's like a running gag that like it's completely randomized. Like, I tell him like the steal command is completely randomized. You're not guaranteed anything. And every time he uses it on a woman, he gets her panties.
But of course.
And he like the first time because they think he's bullshitting him like the first time in the tavern after the thief teaches it to him, and like he does it to Megumin, and like he's like, and what did I do? She's like, you think you're funny, don't you? He's like, it's random. I didn't know that. Just cuts away, cuts back. He's all lumpy faced.
Of course. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it seems good.
Alright.
Awesome. I was telling Cupcake earlier. I'm kind of on the last episode. Disney Plus has a show called On Point, where it follows. It takes place in 2019 and the beginning of 2020, because it ends with them having to go home because of COVID and stuff like that. And so it follows like different age groups. It's called SAB, which is, I guess, one of the premier ballet schools in New York City. And it's affiliated with the New York City Ballet company. And so there's a few kids they follow. So like there's like a 6 to 7 year olds, like 9 to 11 year olds, and then like the teenagers like between 15 and 18, 17 or 18. So it does a really good job of like showing the dedication that's needed, even if it's for like the younger kids, because like at least one younger kid was doing, of course they've got school, and then they have their dance classes, then they have rehearsal if they're in the Nutcracker, if they're cast in the Nutcracker. And then one girl was also doing horseback riding, and she does less of like the horse competitions, but she was doing those at one point, and she had some ribbons and like a sport and stuff. But as one of the parents pointed out, like her daughter learn things that a lot of adults don't know, like self-discipline, self-sacrifice to actually go after what you're passionate about. And not that we all don't want to do that, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. But sometimes it's learned later in life, like after they're an adult. And she's learned all this discipline and self-sacrifice and, drive to do what she's passionate about. And she's 8 or 9.
Right.
And it kind of goes through the casting process for the 2019 Nutcracker season. So, and they call it casting and stuff. I can't remember why they don't call it an audition. But sometimes for some of the parts, like there's the parts, I can't remember what they're called, but they're little dolls that come out from underneath a mother ginger. So for some parts, you're too tall. And then one girl, it was her last time being in the Nutcracker because she was like moving on up out of the children's classes and like moving up in her age group and becoming too tall and stuff. So she was like, I'm just going to enjoy this. It's tough, but the memories will last me the rest of my life that I was this.
Mm-hmm.
I was in this production and this was great. So it was really nice to see how, and they, the deans and stuff, they talk about watching the kids grow through and then go to become an apprentice with the New York City Dance Company and then performing with them and then maybe coming back and becoming a teacher themselves at SAB. So it's kind of like the circle of life kind of thing going on. So, because there's a couple, and it's fun because I was also telling Cupcake that they make sure that they have a safety net that just in case they get injured or whatever, they go to school and they have a backup net so that like, hey, you can do something other than dance. We understand that dance is your life and you want dance for your career, but
Right.
just in case.
Well, that was my whole thing about like Pee-wee juvenile sports and like high school sports. It's like you're good enough to make it to high school sports, but after that, you're just not good enough. And like all these years of effort just kind of.
Yeah, and I had mentioned to Cupcake earlier as well that a lot of the, because from the New York City Ballet Company, they come back and teach either as a permanent teacher or as like a visiting teacher, or they'll watch a class. So they'll watch these kids grow up and they'll have their gut feelings and stuff about, are you going to have that extra something, whatever it is? Do you have that extra something to actually have a career at this? Because
Right.
you may be, especially they were saying like some of the kids, they're like, once they get to start being like 13, 14, 15 years old, they start having to make that decision of, do I want to do this for the rest of my life?
Right.
And making sure that like they only ask people to become an apprentice who they feel have that extra something and want to do this, and they are able to have that drive throughout their apprenticeship, etc., so that they can actually do this for their career. So I do like that they're like, we're not, and they also
Right.
like for the casting process, they also said like, you were great. We loved how you dance. And I love how they did this for the kids because they were like, we love how you dance. You were awesome. You're just too tall. I'm so sorry. Like, we loved you. You were great. You were awesome. So they're not like crushing them down. Like,
Right.
I think that's also why they're
wrong. It just so happens that you hit puberty maybe a little too early and you don't fit the mold we need.
And so I think they also call it casting instead of audition because
right.
they're talking about like the angels, they're like 5, 6 years, 7 years old. So it's like, we don't exactly want to crush their spirits.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
What happened with Dr. Seuss?
6 of his books will no longer be put into printing due to racist imagery.
Okay. We can always acknowledge the fact that it's a product of its time.
Which ones are the books?
I'm assuming it's not his children books.
Some of them
Children's.
are. Like, If I Ran a Zoo has racist imagery.
If I ran a zoo has racist imagery?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the way he drew black people or something? Like,
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna lose. You went all white again.
oh, damn it, every time.
We're not gonna lose like the Grinch or the Lorax or anything. I think these are lesser known books.
That's what it seems like.
Like,
Why is that not staying?
to think that I
So
saw
weird.
it on Mulberry Street. I don't even remember what that's about.
I mean, I guess, but I didn't realize that had racist imagery in it.
Mm-hmm. They announced it on his birthday.
That's okay. That's not what I wanted. Why does it keep... It keeps autoing. There. It's open so I can't.
Oh, and The Simpsons were renewed for 2 more seasons.
Shock.
The Simpsons will outlive us all.
Pretty much. It's, I think I saw it on Mulberry Street. If I ran a zoo, McElliot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and The Cat's Quizzer.
Yeah, not
Right,
like really well-known books.
I say, like, if I ran a zoo, I kind of knew. And if I saw it on Mulberry Street, I knew well. The other ones are... I would have to see the book to understand. I mean, the guy was kind of an asshole, but he's also a product of his time. He's been dead, what, like 40 years?
I don't remember when he died, so I don't know.
I feel like he was already dead by the time I was a kid, so it's been a
Yeah.
while. Let's see. He died in 1991, so not quite 30 years. Or actually, maybe that would be 30 years. Oh, one. Yeah, it's about 30 years. I mean, the guy was born in 1904, so, I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, blah, 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 but, like, racism is kind of ingrained for somebody from that era.
Mhm.
It would also depend on when these books were written, because if they were written, like, in the 40s or 50s, I'm not, like, excusing the behavior, but it's like, it's... So they're like, these old Looney Tunes are racist. I'm like, this cartoon was produced in 1943. Of course it's racist. Like, what do you think popular entertainment in the 1940s looked like? Because if you think it's not racist, you're in for a really rude awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe people were racist in the past.
Like, didn't Disney recently put a bunch of warnings on some of their older movies?
What? Yeah, what was it? They had. Yeah, somebody was talking about they put warnings. It's not. Somebody talked to me about this. I can't remember what animated thing it was, and they're like, these were racist. And I'm like, of course they're racist. They were produced like in the 1950s. It's something they just put on streaming. That's all I remember. God, I wish I could remember what that was.
I don't remember.
Right. I feel like it was something animated. Because my immediate response anytime Disney does anything with that is like, because Song of the South doesn't exist. The racist movies. Here we go. Oh, that's not new enough. That's older. Although maybe that's how far back it goes. Let's see. Okay. Okay. They included it at the start of Aladdin. I mean, again, yeah, I get it, but like, Jesus Christ. Movies that start with this disclaimer include Aristocrats, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Swiss Family Robinson, Aladdin. I'm just curious to see what they attached it to.
I mean, putting a warning on the front of a movie is much better than just getting rid of the movie and disavowing its existence.
Well, that's what I always get at is like Warner Brothers with the old Looney Tunes. They're just like, look, it's racist. We're not denying it's racist, but to act like it never happened would be to deny our past and say we haven't learned to be better people. And like my big thing is like a lot of these older movies that have like these like racist undertones or whatever, like the kids don't even know what the hell you're talking about when they're like it's racist. It's like it is, because like the context isn't there anymore. Like in Dumbo, it's the crows having the reference being played by black actors having references to minstrel shows. I guarantee you, a kid born in the last 20 years has no idea what you're talking about.
No.
I mean, you and I would have been hard-pressed when we were kids to know what the hell they were referencing. Like, you could pick up on the cues that they're supposed to be, like, they're stand-ins for black people. But, like, beyond that, like, I never made those connections as a kid. I was probably in high school before I, was able to, like, put two and two together and be like, oh, they're referencing, old black minstrel shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not something they talk about. I mean, it's like, it's not discussed in U.S. history or anything. And like even like Aladdin, like they're like, oh, they're racist caricatures of Middle Eastern people. Yeah, I mean to some extent, but it's not so overtly negative that you would, a kid would put two and two together.
Yeah, it's a little less overt than some of the stuff from like the 40s through the 60s. Just
the Looney Tunes World War II with the nasty Japanese stereotypes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So at least we're not there. So
no, I mean definitely. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we saw as kids that just like doesn't like is not used anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Jerry smoking a cigarette before you get murdered kind of thing. Like like they know they're gonna die, and so they have the blindfold and the cigarette. They would never do that anymore. Oh my god, it'd be a field day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would be. Or even similarly, a cigarette after sex. That probably wouldn't happen.
Oh, they don't They wouldn't even portray anything sexual at all anymore in children's entertainment.
True,
Not one
but
iota.
yeah.
We can't even talk about sex. That's way. I mean, we could brutally murder each other, but we can't
Nope.
talk about that.
No sexy.
Well, just I remember a line from Bohemian Rhapsody, where they were filming the one music video where they were cross-dressing.
Right.
I think that's the correct term. They were dressing in women's dresses. So I'm like, I think that's the right term for that. And of course, America was like up in arms about it. They're like, what the heck? And one of them said something like, yeah, you know, the Americans, they're Puritans in public and, you know, sex fiends in private. So it's like, yeah, our nation was founded by a bunch of Puritans. Hi.
Right.
Where sex is bad. It is of the devil, and you had not talk about
Right.
sex. Oh.
Well, one of my buddies was talking about like teaching kids and how he can't even make physical contact because it would be considered sexually inappropriate. And he's like, you know how hard it is to wrangle a bunch of 5-year-olds when you can't make physical contact with them?
Oh, that's got to be nigh impossible.
Right. Like he had to go through
Agreed.
this whole like class and stuff about like when they want to initiate like a hug, like how he has to like brush them off because it's considered wholly inappropriate for a grown man to give a 5-year-old a hug.
Yep.
Yeah, I can kind of
Because
see
all
why,
men are
but
well, all men are sexual deviants.
I mean,
Hey!
come on.
Pervert, please and thank you.
Speak for yourself. Oh.
I mean, I get the paranoia and the fear and stuff. Like, I'm not arguing the point, but it's also like, we've gone to this point where like, we just, like, in its own way, dehumanize physical contact for men.
Mm-hmm. It seems absurd, but
Right? Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, based on our own thinking.
And she's gone.
your break must be over.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Oh, I forgot to set a timer.
I think we've been at it for just over an hour. It's under an hour, probably. It started like 1 o'clock.
What time is it? Yeah.
2:04 my time, so.
12:04 here. 'Cause time zones.
Giggity. But yeah, it's. I don't remember what we were talking about before I went on that segue. Straight right out of my head. I'm like, bleh.
Alright. I did see the live action Battle Alita movie finally.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was alright.
Okay.
They were clearly hoping on a sequel though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think that was gonna happen. Like, having seen them adapt animes and mangas over to US, whatever, it never ends well.
It did make me want to watch the original because I was like, I don't remember this.
Right.
Or this, or I'm pretty sure it went this way in the original.
Right.
I mean, it's a retelling, so it can do whatever it wants, really. But
Right. The absolute bizarreness of the live action Ghost in the Shell movie.
yeah.
That's still a sore point for me. Like, they got the look right, they got the characterizations like pretty spot on, like the way the world works and like how they interact with each other. But they got like the actual like, I'm sorry, not the characterizations, but they got like, they looked right, the world looked right. It was like the setting was about right, like the way the story was going was about what you would expect from Ghost in the Shell. But the way they were characterized, like the writing was just terrible, just god awful. Like, I could have even forgiven that they gave a white girl the main part if they could have at least gotten the writing good.
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I know that's what they're talking about? Anyways.
Yeah, because Cupcake whines about it as like it's my poster child for why Americans suck at adapting other countries' freaking work.
Yeah.
So I loathe when they inevitably are going to release the live-action TV series for Cowboy Bebop. I refuse to believe it's going to be any good.
Well, then, if it is, you can be. If it is,
ahead.
you can be pleasantly surprised.
It keeps like having to stop production because of this and that.
Right.
Like
I think
when their lead broke, I want to say his arm.
Ow.
Yeah. During like a stunt.
Ow.
Oh yes.
But yeah, that's always been my pet peeve. I mean, like, in the scheme of things, like most adaptations of video games, comic books, that kind of thing, never seem to really turn out. Barring the Marvel universe, because too big to fail at this point, I guess.
Mm-hmm. God, I love WandaVision.
Yeah, it looks really good. I have to watch it at some point.
I'm really hoping the final doesn't like suck.
Well, it feels like it's a setup for the next like cycle of movies, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's supposed to be like that.
The TV show seemed to bridge between the whatever they want to call it, phases of movies. They help kind of like fill in the gaps or like mortar for the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, at this point, like, that's one of those things. Like, if somebody were, like, I've had bits and pieces of it kind of spoiled just because everybody's talking about it. I don't really care at this point because that one's like, I'm not actively watching it, so it doesn't bother me. I mean, what? I mean, otherwise, I've been playing through the port of Super Mario 3D World, which has been fun.
Well, that's good.
Bowser's Fury has been that was really good. It's too bad it only lasts like 10-15 hours, but it was a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's like an appetizer for their next Mario game, but that's probably not going to happen until whatever the successor to the Switch comes out. And in July, we'll have the port of Skyward Sword, because that was an inevitability. I'm excited to have that game where it doesn't require me to use freaking motion controls, because that was legitimately like the worst part of that game.
Yeah, I never played Skyward Sword, but I remember watching the Game Grumps play it.
Yeah.
Aaron would complain all the time about it.
It's legitimately, it's a terrible, it was like theoretically it was supposed to be awesome. But like in practice, it was super annoying. Because every enemy like moves their weapon and shield around, so it takes all the fun out of like hack and slash battle, because you actually have to be thinking about the way you're swinging your sword. It's not just a matter of swinging at the right time. Not only do you have to swing at the right time, but you have to be swinging in the right direction. Because if you swing in the wrong direction, your attack just bounces off their shield. And this is initially okay because like the initial enemies are kind of forgiving, but near the end, they either A, cause massive damage, B, stun you for a long time, or C, cause instant death on failure. So then you're like, it's a get it right or die and go back half an hour.
Yeah. And I just haven't had time for video games.
Second to the choir.
Yeah.
I've been
You've
squeezing
been
it.
working hard.
Oh my god. I got another long stretch starting tomorrow. I'm not excited. The worst part is that my guy had his next drill moved up, so I didn't have him for my last weekend to work. I won't have them for this weekend. It's like, and the next one, my boss is taking a week off, so I'll be working like I think it's the last week of March. I'm working like that Monday through this like the next Tuesday with no break because he's on vacation. I'm just like, oh my god. And my full-timer asked if he could have Black Friday off this year, and I was like, haha, no. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm approving that.
Yup. Jeez.
He's like, I'd really like to go out of town for Thanksgiving this coming year, since hopefully we'll be done with COVID. I'm like, you're not getting Black Friday off. Like, I can give you that weekend off, you can't have Black Friday off. But yeah, no, it sucks. It's like, just doesn't feel like there's enough time in the day, like between work and like even my days off, I'm doing stuff, and it's just like, and I mean, like I could be doing more productive stuff too, but it's like when I'm off, all I want to do is just be a slug.
Slugging it.
Right.
This is pretty much what I spend my Mondays doing.
Right.
Being a slug, just watching YouTube, trying to let my brain rest.
Right. That's what basically my days off are Wednesdays, and every other weekend. It's like I can't, like I have to do some adult stuff, laundry, chores, that kind of thing. But like, it's not as much as I'd like to get done. And like days like today, it's like it just blew right by between going to the store and other stuff. It's like, holy crap! It's it's like right now it's already 2:00 in the afternoon. I've barely done anything. And I got to make dinner tonight, and that's always fun. I mean, I'm making something easy. I'm making that buttered noodles and cabbage again because that's the fastest thing I can make on the days we record.
I wonder what I should make for dinner.
Ooh, pretty hair.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I just remembered something I wanted. Oops, clicking around here going like, I can't remember, so I think it was him. Anyways.
But yeah. Probably should remember to open my shit today. Or I forget again, and it goes another one sitting on the pile unopened.
Yeah, you can still talk to us and get it all set up and ready to go. And then be like, oh, here you go, and here's this, and oh, here's this, and
right.
Oh, here's this, and I need to bring us. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I swear I know what I'm doing.
I forget again. Yeah.
Careful.
Don't hurt yourself.
I remember what I ordered.
Oh, nice bubble wrap. Is that the silver edition of bubble wrap? Har 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 har.
Right.
That's a lot of black clover.
Oh, it's just part 3. But this is the box. It's hard to find. I actually have the rest of season 1 on order. That's what I was looking at because I'm like, I should be getting this pretty soon. This came from Canada. I couldn't find it anywhere in the U.S., so I was like, Canada, it is.
Canada.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
There is the Minnesota accent coming out as Canadian.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's my knife. Names. Keep seeing that. I don't have a knife over here right now. Okay, let's see if this will work. Oh. Jesus. I guess that's one way to do it. There we go. The way people send stuff, I swear to God. Oh, wait, what? It's a bag inside of a bag!
Oh, nice.
I mean, I guess I get it. You don't want somebody to... I'm pretty sure this was an eBay order, so I'm pretty sure they were like... They didn't want it to get broken and me be like, yeah, I didn't ship it good enough. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, I ordered something, and I ordered, it was actually a copy of the Hallmark version of The Secret Garden, the Site of High Clear. And it's different than the one that came out that everyone else seems to have watched.
I think I've seen that one.
I'll have to show a picture here in a moment, but it basically came in like the smallest package you could do and still fit it. And
right.
So it, like, okay, some of like the edges of it were like a little bit beat up because it was mailed like that. I'm like, you couldn't have like put it in a padded thing, like spend a little bit more money.
Right.
Like,
you know what?
so that, like, and that's all mine because the DVD was fine, but still, like,
right. Well, I need to clean up my cardboard, but not today. Maybe the next time I'm off. But that was, because I remember talking to my buddy, that's all of season 2 of Black Clover, if it'll focus. I don't know where this guy bought these from, but like, I don't know if it'll focus, but there's like weird price tags. I didn't pay $48. He paid $48 for each one of these, and I think I paid like $90. But clearly this dude, and they're never open, they're still sealed, so whatever. I have the box for this on order. But it's not here yet, so that's another part of that other order that didn't come. And that's a Right Stuff box, clearly. So this will be interesting, because I don't even remember this order. The Right Stuff shipping department. I don't even know what's in here. Oh. Oh, okay. Galaxy Angel X. Because I am a consumer whore and how I wanted to get this on Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure oh no. Oh yeah, no, this is the one where they dubbed the first, this is 26 episodes. They got through dubbing the first 8 episodes and then Bandai decided it wasn't worth their money. It's like only the first volume of this on the DVD actually has dubbing, and then it's all subtitled from here on out. I was secretly hoping they were going to go back and redub this, but they didn't. Oh, right. The last Galaxy Express 999 movie.
Sweet.
Because I didn't realize I was missing it until I realized I was missing it.
We gotta watch the rest of those.
It's only 2 more. It's a Do, I think it's a Do Galaxy Express, and then Eternal Fantasy, if I remember correctly. Or maybe it's this one, and then it's a Do. But I realized I was missing one. I just love how janky the art style is in the 70s. I don't even know if you can see it. I love his eyes. He got those, like, fucking pinpricks for eyes. And then finally, because I have issues, cautious hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. I don't know.
Well, okay.
It seemed like a fun anime. He's the archetype of every RPG gamer, which I am. Is just like, I'm gonna be level 99 before I hit the first boss. That way I can't die. I think that was in there. Yeah, I think that was in there. Amazon. What the hell did I order from Amazon?
A butt plug.
Look, the things you order from Amazon are not the things that I order from Amazon. And I mean, honestly, 10 inches in diameter? I don't think anybody was going to go that big. Aren't you glad you said butt plug? Oh. Because nothing says I love you like Fruits Basket. Wow, that's really bright. Why is that not fixing itself? Fine. It's the backlist. Oh, Jesus, that's just like reflects all of the light. But yeah, this is like
shiny box.
Not particularly like there. You can see like that's not as bad. But if I go like this way, she's just like reflect all light. Can I get it not to reflect light? No, she's here. Let's see something. I'll probably regret this in a second, but is that less? Like less? Not great, but it's a little better. But yeah, this is the one. There's three versions of this. There we go. As long as I don't hold it too high. This is the hard box that holds all the other stuff together. But like, nobody had this. I didn't even know it existed. And then it was like, oh yeah, by the way, these are out of print. And I'm like, what do you mean these are out of print?
Poor Cupcake.
This came out like, I want to say like in January, and it's already basically impossible to get. Like, I have no idea why this is so hard to get. But this exists because they complained the first season. This is season 2, part 1. They complained that they came in those cheap cardboard boxes, and they were like, "Well, what? Like, why are you making us spend all this money if it's not going to have a rigid keeper box or whatever?" I don't think that's where I wanted that to land. Whoops. I gotta go put those on the pile.
How big is the pile?
How big is the pile?
Yeah. It's been a while since we've seen it.
Let me see. Can I... Oh, I don't know where my... I think I have a pretty up-to-date picture of it. Hang on. This way. And this isn't super up-to-date, but I'll post it It's a little bigger than that. That's from like last month, but it's pretty. I know. Well, dude, all I do is work. What do you want? But yeah. So my goal, I guess, this month has been to try to eat down my pile of things I want to watch, play, etc. In my spare time, instead of just sitting here staring into the abyss every night, even if it's just like 20 minutes. Although last night, literally, I was sitting there with Mish, and like, I barely remember kind of like realizing I was going to pass out and like getting the crap off, like my headphone stuff off before I literally just zogged.
Yeah. I was telling him by the time I went to bed, I kind of figured, I'm like, yeah, he's probably just kiboshed in his chair, and
That's literally what happened. I woke up. I think I woke up at like 6 a.m. this morning, like still in my, not my work clothes. Like I'd taken my shirt off, or taken my work shirt off and put my hoodie on. But like I was sitting here and I literally just like woke up. My glasses on the desk next to me, my headphones just kind of like splattered onto the desk, and I crashed. Just I'm like, oh. That was not shocking, given that I had only slept like 3 hours the night before, had a stomachache all morning, and then, basically been awake since 3 a.m. I think it was probably almost 10 by the time I crashed. It might have been a little earlier than that. It was after 9, I'm pretty sure. But I just freaking dead.
Oh, I forgot to say, happy, Everybody is Irish month.
Oh, right, yeah. I can't believe it's that time of year again. Feels like it was just this time last year you were talking about that.
I mean, it would have been. COVID also hit last year about this time.
Yeah, it was the week of my birthday.
Poor Cupcake.
I only know that because I was going to go to the Asian buffet, and then it was like, yeah, everything is shut down. And then it just never reopened. Actually, I think they did reopen, but I'm just not going anywhere near a buffet until this is all over.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel bad because I want to support them, but I'm not going anywhere near food and that many people. So one of my coworkers was like, "Well, you could do takeout." I'm like, "Yeah, see, the problem is still a lot of people like, with their hands on stuff." I'm just like, "Yeah, no, I'm good, thank you."
Yeah, because one hopes that they're taking those precautions, but
there's no way to tell.
Yeah.
It's not like, like a regular place where it's, like a regular restaurant where there's things you can do to try to reduce contact. The buffet is just kind of like your ass is grass. That's actually why I respect the like the other Chinese restaurant in town, like, went to takeout only and just never reopened their dining room.
Yeah.
And I asked the lady, like, I think the third time I went after they went back, they went to that. I was like, how's that working out for you? She's like, honestly, it's way cheaper to do it this way. I'm like, I can see that. She goes, yeah, it's just. She goes, I don't know that we'll even ever reopen the dining room after this is over. She goes, because it's. She goes, we lost some business people who just didn't want to take away. She goes, but most people were and seem to be totally fine with doing takeaway only. New research indicates that younger generations are having less children. No, you don't say. What made you think that younger generations are having less children?
Are we gonna run into Japan's issue here pretty soon?
I don't think so.
Japan's
like,
issue? Huh?
They don't have enough young workforce to take care of the elderly.
Oh,
Right.
shit.
Because
yeah, we might be
basically-
running into that.
Yeah.
Very, very
Because
soon.
basically, their young people see no reason to be married or have children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that and also the burnout from,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the same thing we're going through, just not quite as bad.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even want to, like, with the schedule I work, I wouldn't want to even try to even, like, have kids. Oh my god.
So, yeah. I totally get it. Because, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it can't be done or anything. It's just like, ugh.
I really wish I could foster a child, but we would require a spare room, which we just don't have.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just hoping Cupcake's, sacrifice to the dark gods of the, evil
Oh, yeah.
politics works. Because it was like, I've been like messaging my, thank you for calling.
And she's gone.
There's a holiday called Respect Your Cat Day.
Well, I don't have a cat, so that's not a problem.
Isn't that every day? Oh.
But yeah, surprise. My one friend and I have kind of, been supporting each other through our trying to have babies stuff, and so she's taken the ovulation test before. They're little tiny strips, and so I would be like to occasionally send her a picture of it, and it comes, the one set that I got off of Amazon comes with an app, so that it will actually tell you, like, you have to wait 10 minutes until it's like all set and ready to go, and then you take a little picture, and then it tells you if it's low or high. And then all of a sudden one day it was like, apparently if you are having a spike, it has a little baby noise. So like when she take the picture and it's ready, it's like, aha! And it was like, and so I sent her a picture, she's like, okay. It's like, she's like, yes, you need to bow chicka wow wow, and yeah.
Now.
Yes. So, yeah. So I was like, okay. Because occasionally my body likes to spring having my menstrual cycle on me, which is what happened a few weeks ago. It was like, okay, my lower back is kind of doing its thing like it does when I have my period. And then I went to the bathroom. I was like, that's because I have my period. Oh, hello. And so I was like, good, because I was like this close to, because what you can do is, like, my gynecologist and the endocrinologist are like, yeah, it's good to flush things out every once in a while. So I was about to take the pills that do that. And then it was like, my body was like, okay, here you go. So.
Ta-da! Period time.
Nah. Period time. Cupcakes, like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keegan are being silly.
I do not miss periods.
For the most part, neither do I. It's
Don't look at me. I'm a dude. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course not. But
I mostly just sit here and get drunk.
a drunk cupcake. So that's why your special cupcake. You have a liqueur center. A special liqueur center. That's why you're a special cupcake. I see.
It's just this moment when I think about the fact that I haven't had like a serious drink in forever.
Well, that's good.
October? Yeah, October. I mean, like, I had wine when my mom bought like all those bottles of wine, but that's just because I didn't want her to drink them all by herself. Beyond that, it was like, yeah, whatever.
Exactly. Anywho.
Right?
Right. I don't know what the fuck to talk about.
Well, you and I don't have like lives at this point. I mean, you're going to school. I'm working like a dog, and then there's Mish in the corner who actually has a life outside of work and everything else.
Trying to think. That's why I'm trying to think of something. Thank you for calling the USGA. This is...
I mean, like, I wish I could say there was more to talk about, but I mean, honestly, I don't do a lot outside of work. I mean, like, I was so dissatisfied with the way the story was going in Cyberpunk that I never finished that. I got real far, and I just kind of was like, eh.
I've seen 2 of the endings in Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Not from my own playthrough, but from hubby's playthrough.
Right.
I don't know how many endings Cyberpunk has.
I think 5, but I could be wrong.
Yes, 5. Oh, okay, because there's a secret ending.
Yeah, the go out in a blaze of glory with Johnny. It's the I played this way too much and have perfected my character, if I understood it correctly. I'm enjoying this moral outrage from the conservatives about how they're playing it off like they're removing the Mr. and Mrs. from the potato heads, but the actual official statement from the company is they're just changing the line from Mr. Potato Head to the Potato Heads, as in they want a bigger focus on the family. Bullshit. And the individual characters are still Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
It's like, yeah, I see the point where it's like, okay, Mr. and Miss Potato Head, and it's slightly more inclusive, but
it's more hilarious. Here's somebody's like intelligent discourse on this. Yeah, it's super manufactured outrage. Fun tip from someone heavily into both toy collecting and toy creation. If you see a hot take about the toy industry, it's not by someone in the said industry, or at least someone who has a full room devoted to toys. Just assume it's wrong. It was true back when people started freaking out over Lego Friends without understanding anything about store shelf space wars and the actual content of the Lego Friends brand. It was true when people were freaking out about Ray merchandise at the start of the new trilogy and with Cara Dune, and it's now true with Potato Head. Because, like who said above, Hasbro wants to expand. They don't want just a Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head. They want to sell you Grandma and Grandpa Potato Head. They want to sell you little Yam Baby Potato Heads, and probably some manner of dog, beet, or radish cat. Maybe an evil potato with little roots growing out of him for an antagonist for the inevitable Potato Heads YouTube shorts. There's gonna be wacky neighbor who's a different vegetable. I guarantee it. The Purge. For 12 hours, everything is legal, even murder. Me. So, like, everything, including immigration violations? The Purge. Me. And export restrictions on encrypted algorithms? The Purge. That's not really... And software piracy? For sure, right? The Purge. Look. Asking the real questions here. I watched a video on YouTube that put out the Purge is during tax season, so there's nothing to stop you from filing your taxes while lying about everything and getting a big old tax refund.
Well, based back to the toy thing.
Yeah.
Based on because Little Takes is part of the MGAE company, and they're the ones who, I don't know if you guys have seen the LOL Surprise dolls. They're like really tiny dolls. They're about the size of a thumb.
No.
And let me find a picture. LOL Surprise doll.
Alright, I'm terrified. Marine iguanas are basically baby Godzillas.
Dude, they are.
That thing looks like a serious A-grade ass kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, top level predator. Like, I'm sure there's something that eats those. Oh yeah.
So I put it in there.
Okay.
So as you see, they're tiny little dolls. They're cute, and I know I chose the picture where they're all naked, but I figure we're adults here.
I was just
Speak for
laughing at
yourself.
putting it in there.
Speak for yourself. Adult, hardly. I'll be over here in my world of cartoons. Thank you.
You're welcome. So one of the things is they're little girl dolls and they're little boy dolls. And of course, as you know, as kids do, they take off the clothes to put other clothes on, or just because they're taking off the clothes. And then the little boy doll is anatomically correct.
Nice.
So it is the tiniest boy part of your penis you have ever seen. Like tiniest.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of penises in my day.
Well, one of the tiniest. I will point out. So, and people call in because they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you are having anatomically correct." Eventually, if you're a responsible parent, you are going to have this conversation with your children. At one point or another, you are going to have. So, yes, you don't necessarily want to have a conversation with your little girl. Mommy, what's this? You don't necessarily want to have that when she's 4 or 5, but you can coach it in terms that she will understand. Oh, those are boy parts. Those are the parts that Daddy has. And those are. Those are boy parts. And being very calm about it, because I think that's part of why Americans are so screwed up about sexuality and body parts, is because we're either not taught enough, or we're taught the wrong way, or parents freak out, so we think it's something to freak out about. So it's like, but they call in to our company to say, "Oh my God, it's anatomically correct. How could you do this?" To be inclusive.
I'm gonna be dead honest.
Seriously?
We just forgot that it was a part of the mold. Nothing against you guys. We just forgot when we were making the molds to take that part out. Like, that would be the best answer, and it would make me fucking laugh my ass off. Or if they're just like, yeah, we reuse these molds for like 5 different sets of toys, and it's just cheaper to leave the private parts in.
Yeah.
This is why I'd be a terrible parent. My children would be terrible, terrible people.
What do you mean, actually, age appropriately mature about shit like that? Oh, wait a minute.
All right, can you imagine me being somebody's parent? Just try to conceive of that for a minute and conceive what a terrible idea that would be. Right. Thanks for playing. Moving right along.
Oh, Mish muted. Okay.
Because every time somebody's like, you'd be a great dad, I'm like, I would be a terrible father and you should know this.
You'd be fine.
I'd be throwing those kids so high and then catching them. They'd be scarred for life. At least $30,000 in therapy bills.
Well, they are Americans, or would be, so...
And all the violent video games and age-inappropriate entertainment.
Who is it that's trying to ban violent video games again? Is it someone from Louisiana?
Oh, probably. It's gonna be nice again tomorrow. No shit. Thanks for playing. See, I'm in this weird circle of like, it's really beyond some level of it. There's really no reason to hide things from children because they're gonna find it anyway. So you might as well just try to artfully share it with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how my dad did it, and I turned out okay. Well, I didn't turn out great, but that's not the point.
I wouldn't argue that it was because of your dad.
No. I wasn't arguing it was my dad, just kind of like...
No, I didn't mean to imply you were.
I mean, okay, maybe a little bit I was, but that... I wouldn't blame my dad for the way I turned out. I'd blame the world. It's not my fault! It's everyone else's fault!
Mm-hmm.
See, Cupcake, I can see you as a dad, but your kids wouldn't necessarily... They would. I kind of feel like your kids would be the ones to say, "Why the hell are you excited about Santa? He doesn't exist." To other kids, like.
I mean, I wouldn't do that to my kids, but I mean, I also wouldn't lie to them about it either.
Yeah. Like if they asked you, you probably would be like, "Yeah, no, Santa Claus isn't real."
I'd be like, "Dad, is Santa real?" I'm like, "He's real in our hearts, child. He's real in our hearts."
Sweet.
I'd also be the asshole that like the really expensive toys would come from mom and dad, not from Santa. Santa didn't buy you that PlayStation. Your dad got you that PlayStation. Santa can suck your dad's nuts.
Well, also that helps out for the other kids who can't get the PlayStation from Santa Claus.
Right.
So, like, Santa, oh yeah, Santa Claus got me some socks. It's kind of stinky, but he gave me socks.
Right. No. My parents were big on that. They're like, Santa didn't buy you a Super Nintendo. Mom and Dad got you a Super Nintendo. Santa got you the video game. I'm like, ah, cool. God, I think I was like 13 or 14 before I realized Santa wasn't real.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I saw no reason to stop believing. Everybody's like, well, that was so stupid. You should have known better. I'm like, yeah, I figured he probably wasn't real, but why give it away, dude? I was getting extra presents and everything. I can play the long game. I mean, like, maybe I got an extra present that, nobody else got because I was like, yeah, dude, Santa's real. Why wouldn't he be real? I think it was like probably the 8th grade before I was like, yeah, Santa's probably not real, like outwardly. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't give a shit. And I hope my kids play that long con too, because I would be remiss if I didn't think they were, trying to go for maximum benefit.
Mm.
I mean, thankfully that'll never be a problem because it's never going to happen. But hey, you know. End up believing like my dad having a kid at 42. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, my older brother
Mm-hmm.
figured it out when he was like 5 or 6. Because my parents were driving over to my mom's house for Christmas, and so he's sitting in the back seat, you know, usual, and he goes, "Santa isn't real, is he?" And my mom and dad are like, "Shit. Okay, you know, you're right. Santa isn't real, but now you can help keep the secret for your cousins, for all your cousins." Right. So, but it was kind of like we're on our way to a Christmas with other children, and it kind of out of the blue, is he real? Oh my god.
Dude, my brother ruined Santa for me. I don't remember how old I was. I want to say 5 or 6. When he told me Santa wasn't real. But I suppose that's what I get for having an older brother.
All I know is maybe.
Trying to think.
I don't know. I just had really interesting. I just had like a really interesting childhood. I don't know. As long as I live, I'll never forget. I don't know what I was eating in junior high, but fucking freshman year, I always had civics after. I don't know why it sticks with me. I always had civics after lunch, and whatever they were feeding us gave me the worst fucking gas. And like my mom was begging me to take Beano because the teacher was complaining that I was fucking clearing the room with my farts. And this is the memory that sticks out of freshman year is I like religiously refusing to take it because it made me fucking laugh so hard because I was already like universally loathed by my peers. So I was like, this is my one weapon, and they're too afraid to beat me up because they're worried if they hit me too hard, I'm gonna fart so hard that I'm gonna fucking like gas them out. So I was just like, fuck you and your Beano! I do what I want!
Did you see the stuff about the Sinking City game?
Yeah, something about like the developer got screwed by the publisher, and they're like, don't buy it.
So Frogwares, which is the developer, claims that the game's original publisher, Nacon or something like that, hacked and pirated the game and republished it on Steam without the studio's knowledge.
Right. That's something to do with a lawsuit, I think.
Yeah, they essentially had to DMCA Valve and go, could you please take this down?
Well, and like the version that the publisher uses, like, it was like it's like an older version.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty dumb thing to do. How do you not expect to get caught?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Mm.
Despite Texas' lifting of the COVID-19 restrictions, businesses, including companies such as Target, Macy's, and Toyota, will be keeping their mask mandates.
I would.
Right.
Yeah.
COVID is still very much a thing.
Okay. Okay. Woohoo! But yes, in terms of Mercedes Lackey's books,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Jesus. Okay, so I got distracted by what's going on in Bake Talk, and I'm like, what the okay. But I'm gonna post in the chat there. It has a very, very similar, like, stylized cover art. So it's all very, very similar, and it kind of ties it together a little bit. So. But I know. Let's see here. I know we were talking about the, some social issues earlier, and I know that Tamora Pierce, who is another one of my favorite authors, actually one of the characters in one of her books, is, I guess you would consider this person a they. I would imagine. The way it's explained in the series is that because it's set in like a medieval setting, swords, magic, that kind of thing. How it's explained to the main character of the book is that the trickster tapped me in my mother's womb and changed my outer shell. So, trans person, I was supposed to be female, but I was born male. So part of the time, they are who they were born as. They walk around and they're presenting male, and then because they work as a singer in the kind of the underworld type thing. So he also presents as female and has a different name and sings as a woman. So I do like that. At least there's a mention of a character that is different than the usual box of heteronormative cis gendered. I mean, it's not as prevalent as one might like or want, but at least it's hopefully a step in that direction. One would hope.
Yeah.
So Mercedes Lackey also has a few different different than the box that we all are supposed to grow up with, characters. So, but it's one of those things where it's like, I wish there were more of it because everyone needs representation.
Yes. The new Harry Potter game will include the ability to make your character trans,
Oh, very nice.
regardless of what J.K. Rowling says, because she sold the rights, I guess? I don't know.
Right, basically. Well, that's like the next Splatoon. They're just hairstyles and stuff. They're not even doing like it's a dude's hairstyle or a lady's hairstylist.
Yeah, it's just hairstyles.
Right. Think about how much easier that makes the programming. Like, forget about all the feel goods. Just it made the programmer's life easy because now it's not like, oh, is that a dude's or a lady's or something else? It's a hairstyle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's where I'm at with all this shit too. It's like, who cares? Use whatever you want.
That was one of the great things about Cyberpunk, is that you could mix and match or be nothing.
Right.
But the fact that you can't change your character after that is not very transhumanism.
I think that's probably more just that's like less like artistic choice and more probably just a choice of the way it was programmed.
Yeah, but they could at least let me change my hairstyle.
I never even thought
I
you
just
can't
like
change your
also
hairstyle.
how
No, once you set your character, that's what they look like no matter
Oh.
what.
that sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, at least it's
I thought you meant like gender. I'm like, that's probably just something they fucked up with the programming. But the hairstyle, I'm a little shocked by because they have mirrors everywhere. They're like, look at yourself in the mirror. I'm like, well, why can't?
Oh, I do like the idea of you being able to be trans and in that being a big fuck you to J.K. Rowling.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Well, subtly.
It's an ideal more than an actual application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion of playing it, it's like, I mean, they're in Poland, which is like, holy shit, right wing at the moment.
Oh yeah, poor Poland.
So I assume it was more of a, they don't want to get arrested by their own government.
Point. Seeing as I heard a tidbit the other day where it was like, it was illegal to wear pants in France at one point.
Yeah, something like that.
So, and then there's this one movie star in like the 30s who was like, they're like, yeah, if you come to France, don't wear your pantsuit. And she showed up in a pantsuit.
Right.
And she was like, hi, Blaze. How are ya?
And this, my friends, is why you have to be careful as an American traveling places.
Yep.
Yep.
Not
Because
that we can
rules
go
be
many
weird.
places right now.
But,
Well, I assume we're not in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. I mean, there's places where, you know, you kissing anybody in public is instant either flogging or jail time.
yeah, they kind of touch on that a little bit with the second Sex and the City movie when they go to the United Arab Emirates. And as we know, Samantha's character is very sexually, or what might be considered sexually promiscuous, but she's just in control of herself, and she's like, I like sex. You don't like it? Here's my middle finger. Don't get
Yeah, but the thing is, in a country like that, you're not technically considered a person as much as a thing, and they behead you at the drop of a hat. No pun intended.
So she was there for business,
right?
And then they saw her in public, and they get a call, and of course you have to generally you have, as far as I understand, like you sometimes have to be sponsored to go there, like you have to be invited by like the rich
somebody has to
folks.
be basically vouching for you.
Yeah, so the next, finally they get a call, and like you have to, it's like, we don't want to do this anymore, we don't want to deal with you anymore, like very politely or whatever it was, and then we're not paying for your hotel anymore. And so she's like, how much is it per night? Thank you. Being very polite, hangs up the phone. Oh my God, it's like $10,000 a night. We're leaving. It's like, and when is checkout? So basically, like, they have to check out. Otherwise, they're footing the bill for their very expensive hotel. But, so stuff like that where it's like you have to sometimes, like, research where you're going before you go there to make sure that, hey, like I specifically, let me see here. I specifically have a Pinterest page. Let me try to pull it up here. Where
the short answer is anytime you're leaving the country, just don't do anything that you wouldn't do in the office. She got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had this conversation with people who are going other places just for business here. And it's like just don't do anything you wouldn't do while you're at work, and that generally solves a lot of the problems.
You're all bright white again.
Yeah, it's because I clicked off. Hang on. Keeps going back to there. I don't know why it keeps resetting itself every once in a while. What? 3:30. Okay.
So, like I was saying, trolling Pinterest one day, and I noticed there was a series on, like I put under travel tips, but it does different countries. So, for example, traveling Japan, you would need a passport. They suggest you get a vaccine for Japanese encephalitis.
Yeah.
The language is Japanese. Their currency is the Japanese yen. It shows you where you can go. Like, for example, more sites and activities, geisha training, pagodas to shrines, hiking, diving, and it gives you like different places to go, like in Tokyo or the gorge or whatever.
Right.
When to go, best weather, when to go if you want to see the cherry blossoms, and when not to go. So, for example, do not go in the rainy times. Thank you for calling the U.S.
And she's gone.
But yeah, I'm back. So what I also like is that it says not to go like when it's raining or the typhoons, which is usually June through September.
Yeah.
Also, it has tipping. It says do not tip waitstaff or tour guides or bartenders. So don't tip anybody, not the porters, waiters.
Yeah, they don't tip in that
drivers. Never stick chopsticks vertically in rice or cross them over your plate. Table manners, foods to try, some basic Japanese like hello, goodbye, please, you're welcome, thank you, excuse me. Also saying like, please take off your shoes. Make sure you take off all of your shoes when you enter in the house. So it does that for example, France. Tells you same information, where to go, when to go, table manners, food to try, basic French, and that the French appreciate attempts to speak even basic French.
Right.
Keep your best manners, avoid yawning, shouting, and chewing gum in public. So, Yeah. And also something that they point out with that is keep, at least with France, keep your knife in your right hand and your fork in your left hand, which is kind of counterintuitive for Americans because we're used to only doing that like when we're cutting something, and then when we're
Right.
done cutting something, we set down that knife and pick up the fork with our right hand and continue eating. So
Right.
yeah. All right, so I'll be right back.
Alright,
Okay.
we'll be here.
That's a lie. I'm never here.
You're always
I've gone
there.
native.
You've gone native.
I've gone native.
Oh no.
I need a Mountain Dew to try to wake up. The caffeine from all the coffee I drank is wearing off.
Oh no.
And it's only 3:30 in the afternoon.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome
All
back.
right. So, see here, and then New Zealand. Yeah, I have for New Zealand, England, Peru, Norway, Tibet, Antarctica, Egypt, Oman, Lithuania, Poland, Russia, Jordan, Israel, Ireland, and has both parts of Ireland. Jordan, Senegal, Canada, so all Canada, Mexico, a couple of Mexicos, Iceland, Vermont, Mexico again, Canada
Wait,
again,
Vermont?
Uruguay, Thailand. So, like, for example, in Thailand, it says you'll need vaccinations against typhoid, malaria, Japanese encephalitis. And actually, it says when to go for the high season, mid season, and low season. Yeah.
Why would you need a travel guide for Vermont?
I don't know. I saved it. I think it was in the just in the autopilot. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Even if I go to Sweden, I'm not trying raw salmon with salt, sugar, and dill. That's gross. I know. I don't give a shit. It's second contest. Second contest reward those who are working extra hours. No.
We got yelled at work
Like,
because
no.
I couldn't get any of my guys to bite on the everybody got their profit sharing check for like celebration week because the prizes were one of two $25 gift certificates to our store or a $50 gift certificate to our store, and everybody was like, "I'm good, thanks."
Yeah. So like our rewards points used to be like what you got at your bank account. So you could get jewelry, movies, stuff for the kitchen, stuff for the house, what have you.
Right.
And they flipped it to being internal now. So all that's available that I can see now, granted, it's nice, but all you can get now are Amazon gift cards. Because you used to be able, like, if you wanted a gift card, you could get one for gas or groceries or what have you. Now it's just Amazon. Now Amazon's nice, but still, it's like, fuck.
So what you're saying is the ghost has gone out of their attempt to try to spur productivity.
Yeah. And it's like, really? No, I don't need that. I'm like, granted, I like it because I've been building up my gift cards stuff on Amazon, but still,
Right.
it's like, I forgot. I sent out the benefits before I did the merge, but worry about it. So he's gonna renew as soon, anyways. Anxiety blank merged. All info correct.
All right. Quarter
Well,
cup of
let's see
water.
here. So apparently, to try out in must-try foods in Sweden is that raw salmon dish,
Right.
domed layer sponge cake, toast skagen, prawn cocktail on top of sautéed bread, mulled wine, and egg anchovy salad. The here, that's Mexico. Where to go? But yeah, that's so I do like that because I was like, well, if we ever travel one day,
Right.
you know, which we didn't get to do last year because
Puny Americans, you assume we'll let you in our country.
I suppose I'd like to travel someday, but that requires money, and that just doesn't seem feasible.
Money. I think my great aspiration is possibly a new car.
Oh?
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's still fine. It's just getting to the point that I need to start considering a new vehicle. I mean, probably not new, but second owner.
New
yeah,
to
I don't
you.
really want. What's up?
I said new to you.
Right. I don't really want the expense of a brand new car. Not to mention that I'm a pig and I feel less bad about dirting up a car that somebody already owns than a brand new vehicle.
true.
I mean, my car is fine. I don't need a new vehicle. It's a on the horizon want. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
No, well, cook. But my noodles are not ready yet.
Poof. I just saw a little cartoon thing that just like, oof.
Right.
Posting in the meme profile, but it's a guy and a therapist. I wish we could create a better society that wasn't inherently soul crushing. Best I can do is pills that trick your brain into thinking you don't hate it here.
Right.
It's like, oof.
If you can't use homemade serotonin, store bought is always all right.
Yep. Serotonin.
Right.
Delicious brain juice.
Very delicious. Dear, what is the temperature outside? $54. Praise Jesus.
Right.
Uh,
It's 45 or 46 here right now. Or I mean, it was. It's cooling off now. The sun's starting to go down, but
yeah.
It is a lovely 70 here.
huzzah!
No, I'm just kind of like, yay.
Still feels weird to me that we're not like the snow is melting and we're actually starting to see like decent weather again.
Yeah.
My yard is only 60% covered in snow right now. So, not terrible.
Yeah. I think most of the snow is out. There may be a few things in the backyard that are still like little bits of snow, but yeah.
Right. Six. 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to think.
Thinking's hard.
I know, I'm sorry, honey.
Mm,
I mean, you wanted to go back to school.
I know.
Okay. I did find my moleskine or skin journal thingy again. I was like, oh, here it is.
Well, that's good.
So, like, I can actually write in it now. I don't know what I'll write
Yay.
in it, but I can write something.
That was always my problem. They're like, you should keep a journal. I'm like, I have nothing to say.
Yeah, that's half my
Today was like
problem
every
with,
other day.
like, yeah, that's half my problem with, like, journal writing. It's like, nothing different happened today.
Right.
Same thing will happen tomorrow. Nothing different will
Right.
Something different will happen tomorrow.
You get what I'm saying. Like, occasionally I'll have a day that's a little different than the others, but usually
Yeah.
most days consist of the same routine.
Yeah.
So I always laugh when you like, they'll have like excerpts from like journals of people from like 100 years ago or 200 years ago, and it's like, oh, we did this and we did that and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, like when you're not working a industrialized job, it's every day is a new challenge.
Yeah.
A lot of us today basically have a routine because everything is pretty well compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. I'm just gonna wait for these noodles to cook.
Yeah, cook those noodles.
I think I got the cabbage actually to cook down soft without it like completely turning to mush, which is a changeover.
Nice.
I don't know if it's because I added a little bit of water this time but it didn't like. It's still mostly solid.
Nice.
Oh, but yeah. What were we talking about?
Our extremely exciting lives. That's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
my
so
my
exciting.
right. I'm kind of envious of people who are like, I went rock climbing and mountain biking. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, great. Like,
I I continue to make the argument. I don't know where people find this energy because all I want to do when I get off of work is sit in my chair and veg out. Ugh. Thought my dog hasn't come up looking for dinner. I thought for sure he'd be all over me about feeding him.
oh my God. Oh, you're making me drool. Jesus.
I'm make I'm making you
No.
drool? What?
So my friend and coworker messaged me, and she goes, chicken paprikash casserole. I'm like, God damn it.
What the hell? I mean, that sounds good, but what the hell? This damn step stool. I keep walking into it. Minutes? I can't wait 2 minutes. That's like 2 eternities.
To eternity and beyond.
So personal gripe from going grocery shopping the last couple of months.
Yeah.
When I go to find bananas, they're either so green that they won't be ripe for a week, or they're literally on the edge of completely spoiling.
Oh, geez, that sucks.
I don't know what it is about Walmart, but I can't seem to get fruit that's just about right. It's always either way past ripe, or it's like it'll be ripe in a week.
Yeah, Walmart is. I'm just glad that I have this choice. So I'm aware that there are people who, due to their financial situation, have to get the best deals they can wherever they are. But
Right.
I personally just Walmart, Target, Marks, their produce, I'm like, I'm like, not saying that it's bad. It's just there's a part of me that goes, I don't necessarily trust it. But then again, how can I know to trust like Giant Eagle or Heinen's or whatever more than them? Because they could just have the same problems,
Right.
you know. Just, I guess maybe because there's the whole thing of, well, Giant Eagle and Heinen's are specifically like grocery stores. They're billed as grocery stores.
Right.
Whereas Walmart and Target are, to me at least, are their first like clothing or like dry goods or like medicine or something like that. That's that.
You guys don't have the I don't know what they call them, super Walmarts or whatever. That's like a full size grocery store.
Yes, we do. There's one in town where it's a super Walmart, but for me, it's like these Walmart and Target and stuff. They do have food, but for me, it's like it's first like a dry goods or clothing store before a
Right.
food store. So I don't know if it's just a subconscious like I'd rather get food from a grocery store type thing or what. I'm not entirely sure what that's about.
Well, like part of my problem is that like our local chain Cub isn't any better than Walmart.
Yeah.
Like it's marginally better for twice the price. Not arguing what you're saying. I'm just saying like our local places. You either go to the really expensive place, Kowalski's, which is basically just for rich people, or you go to the actual grocery store, which is Cub, or you go to Super Walmart, and like the fresh produce at Cub is not like that much better that it's worth the extra $3 a pound.
Oof.
How much
Well,
was it?
I'm talking mostly fruit, but you get what I'm saying. Like if a bundle of like a bunch of bananas was like $2.50 at Walmart, it's like $5 at Cub.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of like it's kind of similar here where if Heinen's is basically the bougie grocery store for the rich
Right.
people. Giant Eagle's basically for regular folks. You can go to and Mark's and Walmart and maybe Target are for those who maybe are looking to save a few dollars here and there. But
Right.
that's why I'm like, like I understand that like Giant Eagle may just have as many problems as Walmart or Target or Mark's. It's just for some reason it's like there's a part of me that's
Right.
like, yeah, I don't quite know about getting my produce there. Like a loaf of bread, okay, great. It's like some bananas, no.
Well, I mean, the biggest problem is they all get the produce from the same places.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, obviously, like the bougie, like here, Kowalski's is like the bougie rich people one, upscale. You can tell by the way that it's built. It's, soft lighting and fancy furniture and eclectic artisan produce and blah, blah, blah. But it all comes from the same farms in South America. But
Yeah.
they are maybe more selective about what they buy, so they want a higher price for their produce.
Right.
Better looking
Yeah.
rather than better tasting is what I'm running into. I haven't tried Kowalski's for bananas. That's just my thing lately. It's been like I find bananas either like I get to like the banana stand or whatever in the grocery store, and it's like they're either all green or they're almost brown. Like they're starting to get spotty. And I'm like, am I missing something? Am I coming at the wrong time?
Kiki, is your necklace a rib cage or something else?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rib cage.
Okay, that's what I thought because I was like, it looks like a rib cage, but it could be just a reflection.
This one is heart.
Nice.
Fancy schmancy.
Yeah, so smancy with my dollar heart and necklace.
Oh.
That's okay.
I love cheap jewelry. 'Cause
Right.
of glass.
I always love it when it's like, oh, that's out. I have to fill that back up. Some salt. Well, you finally came up. What's up, my boy? Oh,
Food.
Food,
it
brothers.
is like what, 4 o'clock? So he's hungry. That's gonna
Dog
put-
want food.
Of course, dog wants food. Brothers have food too. 'Cause I'm finished making dinner with plenty of time to spare. Let me cut him up some lunch meat. And hang on, dog. You're gonna get fed. Hold tight. Get you your Kodo salami. Huh? Is my boy hungry there? Oh, sad man. Oh, sad old boy. Our brother just needs a knife. Where did I put this?
You're welcome.
It's fine. I hear that song in my head all the time.
Uh,
Just reignited the flame is all. Oh, shush up, you frickin' neglected little creature.
Sabraba.
Yeah, he's hungry. Hang on. Hang on. Here we go. Oh, shit, that missed. There we go. That's why I wipe the juices off again. There you go. It's like, thanks, brother. I was hungry. Come on. Okay, good. All right. Back down we go. Oh, okay, I left my phone up there.
Oops.
Hey.
Oopsie doodle.
Super bright, but I can fix that. All right, me.
So,
Grab this. Is that just? Yeah, no, it's fine.
well, Cupcake appears. And
Ooh. All right. Okay.
right. I will actually be right back.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to disconnect here. But I'll be back.
And then there was 2.
There's always 2. This turned out really good. I'm glad I used this mix.
Good.
I bought
What'd you make
the
again?
like fancy butter noodles, basically.
Buttered noodles.
I used it's got like the seasoning blend, so it's like I think it's peppers, onions, celery, and like parsley. Like chopped up, but and so then you saute that with some oil, and then I had cabbage, but you don't have to use cabbage. And then like I saute the cabbage with a little bit of water, add the noodles, turn it over a couple times with some butter, add some salt and pepper, you're done.
All right, I'm back.
Huzzah!
Welcome back.
Off of work and out for a walk. I'm wearing my flip-flops outside for the first time in like forever. Feels so good.
Yeah, I took the mutt for a walk on Monday. It was nice.
Awesome.
Nice weather, happy dog.
Right. Now that the weather's getting nice, I need to start taking my fat ass for a walk, but he's not much for that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't imagine so.
Another dog go out and he's looking at me like, but Dad, there's another person.
Ringo loves his walks. It's a shame I can't take him on more of them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Best I can do, you bud, is every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to go for the length of walk that I want to go on, I cannot take the dog because, well, he's got short little legs. He's older, and he wants to stop every 3 feet and sniff a sniff or pee
Right.
somewhere. So it's like, and we have a set route that we go on with him, and that gets him his little exercise, and you know. But so every once in a while, we'll, like on the weekend or something, we'll take him to the dog park, let him run around, bark at everybody because, you know, the 13-pound dachshund is the boss.
Right.
Now, Ringo whines the whole time for some reason.
That's okay. I mean, to be fair, mine's a bad whiner too. It's like, why are you crying? It's like, I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I've been trying to sleep because before, like, we got in the habit is I would sleep in the spare bedroom because hubby is a light sleeper and my snoring wasn't helped by my weight. So this week we've been trying to sleep in the same bed. And the past 3 nights, last night I was still awake, so I moved back into the other room, but the dog likes to get up when I'm in the room at like 1:30 in the morning and walk around. And it's like, and each time it's like hubby said, it's like if he had to go do business, that would be one thing. But like, he would take him to the other room, get him back in his little bed, and then the dog would go back to sleep. Like, it's not like the dog would get back up and say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. No. It's just like, mommy's in the room, so I need to get up in the middle of the night because reasons. And it's like, okay, dog. No. You're being a pain in our butts. He's like, but I'm cute.
Right.
That's why we keep them. Because they're cute.
Dude's out with his RC car.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah, but I was like, what is that noise? Oh, it's that guy with his car.
Oh wow, it's already 2:10.
I know. It goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that means we're at like 3 hours, right?
Something like that.
But
I mean,
you know,
I know there was a lot of pauses in there and everything, but
yeah.
Right.
I was like, well, at least go at least a little bit extra this week means that when you cut off the pauses and leave something for people to listen to.
Well, even like the last one, we still had like an hour and a half of material.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I mean, like our biggest problem is we just don't have anything to talk about. We just kind of meander because we all have such, let's just say, average lives.
Yeah. Based on the squishiness of the tree lawn and not going into the one little nature preserve area. Because that likes to get squishy and puddly.
Right.
And that is no fun because I'm wearing flip-flops. Like if it was 80 degrees out, I wouldn't have a problem. But it's not 80 degrees out. So it's warmer, yes, but not that warm. Ah.
Can you guys hear that?
Hear what?
My cat's losing his mind on the other side of the door.
Oh, that's too bad. I think.
But he doesn't actually want in, he just wants it open.
Oh.
It's like I must have access at all times to Kiki Human.
Right.
Ew. Yes. Ugh.
Well, that was dumb.
What?
What?
A school in Mississippi had a slave letter writing activity
Oh,
What the
Jesus.
fuck?
where you wrote
Ugh.
as if you were the slave.
Oh,
Jesus
what?
fuck.
This is also for a middle school, so
Ugh.
Again,
Boy.
what?
eighth
Oy vey.
graders. Pretend like you're a slave working on a Mississippi plantation. Write a letter to your family back in Africa. Yeah, that would happen. Or in another American state describing your life. You may discuss the journey to America as well as the day-to-day tasks you perform. You may also want to tell about the family you live with or work for and how you pass the time when you aren't working.
My first thought was hello whitewashing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not wrong.
I was like, what's you for the family you work for? I'm like, oh, so they got paid wages? Blink, blink. They did? Huh, I didn't know that.
The wage is that we don't beat you within an inch of your life.
True. Oh. Text.
And all I can ever think of in my coworkers was that like every time they bring this up, all I can ever think of is that scene from Roots. What's your name? Kinta Kunte. Whoosh! Toby! What's your name?
I do remember I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a video where this black guy was talking about when he was like a little kid. They took him on this messed up
Yeah,
field
the
trip.
comedian. Yes.
Yes.
They take him
And
cotton picking.
yeah, they took him to this cotton. It's like they went out picking cotton, and he's like all these little blanks, making picking cotton, and I wanted some, so I put some in my pocket. Forgot about it, and my mom goes, she picks it out and goes, "Where did you get raw unprocessed cotton?" So I told her,
Right.
and she was like,
She's like,
So I
boy,
go to
what?
school. Yeah. And basically, he's like, I didn't go to school for 3 days because she was done with her asses. I'm like, that is messed up.
That is legitimately a great story, and he told it well. It was,
Yeah.
I'll never forget it as long as I live it. I laughed my ass off.
Always good to see. Looks like a bunch of the kids in this part of the neighborhood are on the trampoline.
Well, that's fun.
Trampoline!
Yay!
The safest toy ever.
Eh.
Yeah. This
I mean, there are
one
more
is-
dangerous things you could be playing with, like
True.
lawn darts for one.
At least this one has a net safety net around me, so it's not like don't have some sort of safety.
I miss the
feature.
ones without nets. That was the true nature of safety right there.
Of course.
Fucking, it get to the point where, like, I remember my one buddy had one, like, the cover was gone from around the outside, so you had to watch out so you didn't, like, fall through. Because, like,
Oh,
like,
jeez.
the thing that goes around the edge that covers up the springs was gone.
Mm.
And no, like, and we're talking, like, we were kids, like, 10. Like, No, like ring cover. No, like this is before they had the nets that went up around the sides.
Nice.
Dude, one of my buddies, his dad, like from an auction, got one of those bouncy playhouses. We were in high school, man. We got drunk and fucking jumped around. Oh my god, we came out looking like we'd been fucking fist fighting. We slammed into each other. We had fucking black eyes and contusions and shit. It's like, the fuck were you guys doing last night? Because we come up for breakfast, we're all like all fucked up. And like, his dad's like, what the fuck were you guys doing out there last night? And my buddy's like, we were just jumping around. He's like, jumping around with what? Like you're headbutting each other? What are you guys playing Rhino? The fuck happened to you?
Oh my god.
It takes me back. I want another bowl of that cabbage noodles, but I know if I do, I'm gonna be so sorry in the morning.
Oh, they're bringing back Alan Scott.
Well, that's fun.
He'll be a gay man with 2 children.
Very nice.
Okay. I mean, not that it matters, but okay.
That'd be neat. And I don't know what's going on in DC Comics right now, but
Will he also be a watchman for the railroad? I think that's what he was.
he's a Green Lantern.
No, I know he's a Green Lantern, but he precedes. Isn't he the original one? So he precedes the whole
Yeah.
intergalactic police force.
I don't know enough about the comics to comment.
You're not missing anything. Take my word.
Oh, they're gonna retcon his creation too.
Of course they are.
Ah,
And
They
of
did
course,
so
someone has to die.
Someone has to die?
Apparently, the loss of his boyfriend serves as a catalyst for his transformation to the Green Lantern.
Oh, of course, of course. Did you guys know that pirates can't ever finish the alphabet? They always get lost at sea.
ah. Okay, that's funny. I need to send that in to the Is We Done podcast for their neat dad joke. They have at the end like either hey neat fact or hey neat dad joke. So
Okay, Keeks, what the hell is up with Representative Madison Cawrhorn?
Who's that?
Apparently he looks like he's a guy in a wheelchair committing acts of sexual misconduct and harassment.
Oh, him.
The fuck was he doing?
Hey, just because you're disabled doesn't mean you can't be a bitch.
I didn't say he couldn't be, but like, what shenanigans was he getting up to?
What shenanigans was he getting away with?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait, what? This guy's a neo-Nazi?
Oh, yeah.
He does realize
that's-
that, like, they would have
killed him, right?
as an undesirable because crippled, even if by accident.
That means nothing to him, probably.
Because you know the cause.
He has a reputation going back to his college days of predatory behavior. Invite an unexpected woman on joyrides in his Dodge Challenger. He'd take them to a secluded area, lock the doors, and make unwanted sexual advances. Oh my god. What a piece of human garbage. 3,000 people corroborated the accusation, noting that Catherine had been known a history of aggressive, misogynistic, or predatory behavior. Jesus criminy! Like, to get almost 40 people to like to all be like, yeah, no, he did that shit. That's a hard one to sell down as like oh yeah, they're just trying to trying to the hell am I
Blender.
yeah, like they're trying to slander like fling mud, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 people, they're slinging mud, but you start getting 10, 20, 30, 40 people, and it's like, that many people willing to say, hey, this happened, and risk their reputation. Not saying that that's how it should be, but
Yeah.
when you look at others who have brought accusations against the powerful and rich,
Well, I mean, it's like
their
every time they're
reputation.
like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, like that one lady against Kavanaugh who got death threats. It's like, okay.
I mean,
It's like,
one person is to be taken seriously. 40 people corroborating a story is to be taken very, very seriously.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like the more, and to me, like the more disconnected the witnesses, or not witnesses, but the the corroboration is, like the more serious it is. Like a bunch of people that had, like say same class. Okay, sure. I'm not arguing yes or no. It's like, okay. Well, it's like, oh yeah, this guy that, he was his study partner, and then this person that he worked with, and they didn't know each other. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was able to find on YouTube the original animated Redwall series. So I'm like, hey, I never saw this.
Neat.
And they kind of changed it out.
The original animated what series?
Redwall.
Oh, Redwall. Oh, wow. Crazy.
Yeah. And they did give a little bit more background on how Matthias became orphans, and they made it so that it was Clooney's rating who orphaned him, basically.
Right.
Like his sister was able to get him to basically Redwall, and then she basically dies almost as soon as they're found. But yeah.
That reminds me that I had to look it up to double check, but Netflix optioned Redwall for an animated series
Yes.
back in February. The long year ago of February. No, last February.
Okay.
So that's something to look forward to.
Yes.
Ooh, Patrick McHale will be writing it. He made Over the Garden Wall. That was really good. That hits you in the feels.
Yep.
Well, then the death of Methuselah should hit us in the fields. Very nice.
It would have when I was 10, but as an adult, having read all the books, it's like,
Yeah. Well, for kids who may be watching it along with reading the book, which is something I would do, are we like, let's read the chapters covered in this week's episode first, and then we'll watch the episode. If when I have kids.
What was I going to say?
squishy part of the walk. Very squishy. Ugh.
Squish, 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 squish.
Hello, dear friends. All of a sudden, I heard rustling, looked up, and went, oh, hey. Bunch of white butts.
Right.
All right. Ugh. All right. I still remember. I don't know if it was last summer, but when I was taking one of my walks in the same area and I was walking through the creek, and all of a sudden it was like, because I was paying attention to where I was putting my feet, and then I looked up and saw the deer carcass. I was like, ah, surprise. Dead deer. Oh, okay.
Man, I can't believe the Big Show left the WWE.
Yeah. It happens.
Well, he's moved on to AEW.
Don't they? Don't they own them?
No.
Oh. I know they own. I thought they owned another brand or whatever, but maybe I'm crazy. Wait, why does that guy look so funny?
What guy?
The guy who owns AEW.
That's Cody Rhodes.
No, Shahid Khan.
Oh, you mean the guy who owns?
Yeah,
Uh.
he's the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. I was like, what? I knew it was some sports team.
Right. Pakistani-born American billionaire, sports tycoon, owner of Flexen Gate, an American automotive company.
Someone's grilling like a burger. It smells like burgers.
Burgers.
I was like, oh, I smell that. That smells good.
That's an interesting combination. Registered Republican, spoken out against President Trump's immigration policies. Brave man.
Well, didn't you say he was or that website say he was like at least a millionaire?
Billionaire.
Yeah, so he is probably as rich as, if not richer than Trump. So
probably far richer.
Oh yeah, so he could basically at this point in America say whatever the hell he wants about Trump.
Right.
And he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Like it's like Trump can try to litigate him in as much as he wants. Okay. I got my in-house lawyers here.
Right. Trump's, acting big, but is not one of the actual big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
We are to him what he is to actual multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
I always imagine him picking a fight with one of the guys who is a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollar billionaires. It's like go away. Stop jumping around. What's wrong with you? Why does my camera hate me so much?
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, Cupcake disappeared. Uh-oh. Yankees.
There. Fly.
That's better. There's Cupcake. He's moved closer to the edge of the abyss where we mortals can see him.
I don't know why these settings won't stay. It keeps every once in a while it keeps resetting itself. Like I'm leaving the app open so it shouldn't change itself, but every once in a while it's just like, yeah, no, I'm going back the way it was.
So, Governor, what is his name? Cuomo?
Oh, in New York?
Yeah. He's apologized for his sexual harassment allegation, but refuses to resign.
I saw a title about that. I didn't read it though. Yeah, my neighbor is a Trump supporter, and he had his American flag and Trump up. No more bullshit. And when Trump lost, he put the American flag upside down and folded the sign. And then folded the sign so it says 2020, more bullshit. I'm like, oh, glorious.
I'm guessing my mom must have come home because the dog never came back downstairs.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Hi, sausage. Hi, yes, hello. I know Mommy left the house and did not take you with her. Oh, it's so sad. All right. Yes. I know. Hey, honey. Would you mind grabbing a towel for my feet, please? Thank you. The only downside to having a mostly carpeted house.
Right.
So my feet got muddy and we have a light carpet. Yay. I know, Mommy has to stand here for half a second. Thank you. Yes, I will be doing salad. Thank you. Bullshit. Assuming that's about Cuomo, and I had no idea it made anyone feel uncomfortable. I'll be right back.
Hi.
Rinse off my feet. Ah.
We should probably call it when she gets back. It's almost 3.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And we're just kind of sitting here.
I said what I needed to say. I didn't want to say stop, I guess. Wait, what? Oh my god, what the hell? A picture of her foot. What, barefoot?
She went in flip flops, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Welcome back.
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I need to actually wash my feet off. Bleach. Okay.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and call it here?
Okay. Peach, can you do it?
Except for I don't think Cupcake can hear us. Can you hear us?
Oh, my headphones die. Of course. Of course. No, turn off. There. Okay, hang on. This is punishment, I swear. It also probably means I need fresh batteries for those things. Okay, now I should be able to hear again.
Okay! Welcome back to the land of hearing.
I'm sorry, we went long enough that the batteries died in my wireless headphones.
Okay. Well, I guess goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And she's gone.
Where the fuck is the button?
Right?
Oh, I'm not on the right window.
That might help.
Mercy you boys the plus for listening to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Miss. I speak French very poorly, but so does most of the world. I hope everyone is still wearing their masks and staying safe out there. Farewell my fellow internet beings.